this resurfaced clip of Taylor Swift was posted on Twitter recently when she was receiving the Woman of the Decade award at the Billboard
2019
Music Awards for women. And she blamed partly the Soros family for the purchasing of her entire catalog of music. And this long rant about how men in the music industry are ruining it for women who just want to make art.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The evil businessmen at the top of the music industry are just oppressing all of the women pop stars who, you know, they just want to make art.
Yeah.
They don't want to make money. It's all about the art for them.
Let's watch this clip.
After I was denied the chance to purchase my music outright, my entire catalog
Not true, by the way.
was sold to Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings in a deal that I'm told was funded by the Soros family, 23 Capital, and the Carlyle Group. Yet, to this day, none of these investors have ever bothered to contact me or my team directly
They don't owe you that.
to perform their due diligence on their investment,
That makes no sense.
on their investment in me, to ask how I might feel about the new owner of my art,
They don't care.
the music I wrote, the videos I created, photos of me, my handwriting, my album designs. And of course, Scooter never contacted me or my team to discuss it prior to the sale, or even when it was announced. I'm fairly certain he knew exactly how I would feel about it, though. And let me just say that the definition of the toxic male privilege in our industry is people saying, but he's always been nice to me, when I'm raising valid concerns about artists and their rights to own their music. And of course he's nice to you. If you're in this room, you have something he needs. The fact is that private equity is what enabled this man to think, according to his own social media post, that he could buy me. But I'm obviously not going willingly. Yet the most amazing thing was to discover that it would be the women in our industry who would have my back and show me the most vocal support at one of the most difficult times, and I will never, ever forget it. Like, ever.
They can't buy anything with your support or your ability to remember stuff, that's for sure. This is lame, and she doesn't understand how owning stuff works.
Yeah, she never owned her music in the first place. She got signed to a record label when she was still
a teenager.
Under her parents' guardianship.
So she was with Big Machine Records from 2006 to 2018. Here's the thing. There's a way to fix all of this. Make your own music. Promote your own music. If you want to go the Tom McDonald route, you can do that. But I invite you to watch his videos and see just how much work goes into releasing one song at a time.
Or one music video.
Exactly.
And the problem is she didn't want to go that route. She didn't want to do all the work herself because
it's a lot of work.
Like, the record labels actually do provide value to the artists that they represent. They are the ones funding it. They're the big machine. And she still belongs to a record label to this day, despite being world famous and being like, I'm sure she's a billionaire at this point, right?
I don't think yet. Close.
Getting close to that.
Yep.
Like, she could fund her own music and do her own stuff independently if she wanted to, but it would be incredibly difficult, and she's chosen not to do that.
Her dad was like an equity partner in Big Machine Records. So...
Yeah.
The other funny thing about this is like, this is not a male thing. This is just a business thing.
She's making it into a feminist issue when all artists are affected by the same conditions.
There's two examples that come to mind, and they both involve Michael Jackson. So Michael Jackson and Sony ATV purchased the Beatles albums, and also Eminem. He didn't like a song that Eminem had on the Encore album and bought all of his early work. And never made any changes to it, but he didn't care. It didn't have anything to do with Eminem being a girl, because Eminem's not a girl. It was just, you're owning. She ends up going on, like, later in this speech, she makes it, she talks a lot about investment capital, and basically says, like, you shouldn't be able to just own people's work like you own a house. Well,
It's still a product.
It's work. It's a product that you're selling people. Unless you were giving this crap away to people for free online, and I don't see a single ad on any one of those music videos.
Unless you're
I don't
performing
wanna
it at
hear
a coffee
dude.
shop.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear anything
dude.
about your artistic integrity being stolen.
Like you're making a ton of money, and these people are making a ton of money together. But it's essentially being done so that they can be the bad guys when it all falls apart. And are these labels scummy? Absolutely. They're absolutely scummy. I resent her making this a gendered issue.
But they're no less businessmen than she's a businesswoman.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
They're no less shrewd than
she knows this while she's making the speech. That actually makes her more underhanded. She understands how ownership works. When she gives this speech and she talks about owning her own stuff, she understood that she never owned it. Mm-hmm. She understands that.
Also,
but
she claims she wasn't given any opportunity to buy her music when that's not true. After that Ithaca Holdings deal, they did offer her a deal to buy her music, but she said it had unfavorable conditions. Mm-hmm. So she chose not to buy it. And now her work that she's like re-recording on belongs to Universal. It still doesn't belong to her. Yeah. Now she has a better record deal. So what? It still doesn't actually belong to her. They could still sell it. They could sell her re-recorded albums to someone else. And
also, she's with Universal, who made an offer on the original collection. So all of these companies are evil. At the end of the day, they're all profit-seeking entities. What you're selling just happens to be more personal to you than something that somebody else makes, like a table or furniture.
This was Pearl Davis's take. You invite women into business, and this is what happens. Whining, boo-hoo, they didn't ask how I feel about a business deal.
But the thing is, she's doing this because she understands
this cynically. Like, she knows that message is going to resonate with the audience there. Yeah. But she knows exactly how this stuff works.
Yeah. One of the comments is, meet the consequences of mass production. Your music is meaningless to everyone because you spew it out with zero social value attached. Entertainment, baby. Once the show is done, it's over. You're left nothing behind of value to anyone but you. Oliver knows you chose poorly. They're talking about Oliver Anthony.
Oliver Anthony, who is rejecting these big record deals.
I want to find out that, it just makes no sense to me. I mean, it makes sense because I know she's doing this cynically, and she's doing this because she wants to make it a gendered issue. It also proves that she's smart. She's a lot smarter than people give her credit for, I think. That she's a very shrewd businesswoman. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's annoying because then it becomes an issue where now regular women are like, yes, men are evil. And regular dudes who don't own a single thing other than maybe a car and some frickin' clothes in their closet are now the bane of every woman's existence when she didn't do anything.
Her speech here was literally a recreation of the America Ferrera Barbie monologue.
Yeah, it is.
It was saying, like, male artists get to coast and do whatever they want, and they're not criticized, but female artists are held to this almost impossible standard at all times for their personal and professional lives. And, you know, we're tired of accommodating your expectations, blah, blah, blah.
And what Oliver Anthony understands, what Tom McDonald understands, he had a song called Canceled, I think, where he talks because, like, basically, I own the cameras, I own the masters, I own all this stuff. You can't take it from me. And it will hold its value for him, right? But that requires 3 times the work to put in. Now, there's something you said. At her level of fame, you cannot do that on your own. So I looked up what Universal Music Group had, like 29,000 employees, right? I wonder how many employees it takes to run, like if she wanted to run this as herself, have her own record label without the help of any of these agencies. Even as a billionaire, would she be able to afford that? I don't know. But I do know that there's a lot that comes with working for these companies that is beyond just the financial value, which is like connections with other people in the music industry, which opens doors. Yeah. Right? There's intrinsic value, and then there's value that comes from the amount of deals and agreements these companies have made with other individuals and other people buying and selling music over the decades.
This is the same entitled attitude that's behind the writer's strikes and the SAG strike right now, where they're doing this performative resistance against the studios, but they still rely on the studios for all of the funding that they give to their projects, and they don't want to do it themselves,
and none of the liability.
They don't want to take the risk of funding their own projects because they don't actually care about making art and storytelling as much as they claim to.
Well, they might
want
care.
the legitimacy and the
care.
money that the big studios give them.
Yeah. They care, just not enough to put their own money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
Right?
And they're going to do this performative resistance until the money dries up and they slink back to their writer's room cubicles and Zoom meetings with their tails between their legs. Musicians can't really strike the same way.
Yeah. I'm more annoyed because she made it a gendered issue when this happens to male artists all the time.
Yeah.
Right now, they're saying Justin Bieber's like looking to leave Scooter Braun. They're saying
they said that wasn't true, and they're still tight. And Justin Bieber like pushed back when Taylor Swift was.
That's who she was talking about in there.
Talking about Scooter Braun being a manipulative liar. No, he's just a businessman and you're a businesswoman and you both have your own selfish interests involved in making art.
And what I really like though, I like the idea that George Soros bought the masters so that he just has a copy of them. He has the only copy and he listens to them on like a mini disc. Yeah. Do you know what a mini disc was? It was like this weird thing that came out between tapes and after CDs. Yeah, mini disc player. Guys in the chat will know what I'm talking about. So I'm picturing George Soros is sitting there with his mini disc player and he's listening to the original masters of the Taylor Swift albums that he bought with Scooter Braun.
I'm pretty sure that her masters belong to Disney now.
Oh yeah, they were sold on, right? Well, you know,
they
Disney
were sold after that too.
And her dad even said, like, her dad said, just re-record the songs.
And then they're gonna belong to another record label. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's just really, really mean-spirited to me to make this a gendered issue because it adds to the cultural divide for something she very well understands is a business issue. She knows that this is not. She knows that Shawn Mendes or some other male artist is going to get screwed just the same. Mm-hmm. Like how many times do we hear about these artists who sue years later for money they weren't paid, and it has nothing to do with whether they're a guy or a girl. It's just that labels want to make money, and the only thing they care about is green. They don't care about what sex you are. They don't care about what race you are. They care about how much money you can make them and how much they can keep from you.
Yeah.
So, and it's annoying too, because then it makes me like, I'm not defending these crappy record labels. I'm not defending them. I'm kind of bopping her on the nose for the stupidity.
Yeah, just like we're not defending Warner Brothers or Netflix or any of these mega corporations when we talk about the strikes.
Exactly. Like I think they all deserve each other.
Yeah.
In the end, they all deserve each other.
Just like Taylor Swift and her crazy fan base deserve each other.
Oh, let's look at this photo earlier.
Taylor Swift was swarmed by disgusting fans called
Psychopaths.
Crazy Psychopaths for showing up at her friend's wedding rehearsal dinner.
Here's a video of it. Let's just. This is like outside of a restaurant.
Yeah, in Long Beach or something. Just waiting for Taylor Swift to walk out.
I'm telling you, dude, they need to find a way to translate this to movie success. They need to. They did it with Barbie. The women came out for Barbie, dude. If you can get the ladies to do this.
This is sort of like how the guys were waiting outside of Livy Dunn's gym meet. And they were like, we want Livy. Yeah. And then other girls came out and they were like, you aren't Livy, but you'll do. Yeah. Lana Del Rey comes out and they're like, oh, you're not Taylor Swift, but you'll do. But yeah, it's just incredibly weird to show up to an event that isn't a Taylor Swift concert or a meet and greet or anything. She just happens to be there. Yeah. And a bunch of non-famous people are there, like family members. And you think she's gonna come out and give you autographs or something?
There's like room to be made. There's a great like joke where like Lana Del Rey walks out and she's like, oh my God, they do still love. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Taylor Swift's behind her. Like, damn it.
Exactly.
Damn it. Like they love you, Lana, but they don't love you this many people. Right? Yeah.
I mean, just did you think that Taylor Swift was gonna show up somewhere and people weren't going to swarm the place?
It's very difficult to be her.
Yeah, and she's not going to, a lot of people are saying this, she's not going to push back on the fans' behavior. Yeah. She's not going to call them out or tell them they should go away.
This is what I was kind of trying to point out.
Because she relies on the parasocial relationship she has with her fans, like their BFFs, to make more money.
This
She's
is what I
not
meant.
going to tell them like, don't show up to my personal friends' family gatherings because it's bad for her business.
She can't ever speak out against them in any way, shape, or form.
Even when she visibly looks uncomfortable or scared that they're there.
Look at that. Like, hold on.
Like,
this photo right there. It's just,
This is not the face of a woman who is happy to see you. No. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
yeah, like, I mean, it speaks to the power of her work. It speaks to just how good she is at her job.
Yeah.
She's very good at her job. I will give her that. But it's not.
And like Zoe Kravitz is behind her, looking very annoyed.
She's like, nobody goes to see my movies the way they're doing.
Because I'm a
this here."
Nepo baby.
Because I'm a Nepo baby. Nobody even liked my dad that much.
But you're thinking maybe Taylor Swift should star in a Blockbuster movie?
Yeah, I do. I think they should have. I think they lost out when they didn't make A Star Is Born with Taylor Swift.
I Am What I Am said Crisis Party.
Yes, that did go
get
through,
a
my friend.
Crisis
Thank
Party?
you.
Thank you.
Like, I think they need to make some. You guys remember the movie Crossroads with Britney Spears?
No.
Okay, well you're too young, but it was a very early
year?
meme, 2006 or something like that. Very early
Okay.
meme potential. So what I'm thinking is they make either Crossroads with Taylor Swift or they make Coyote Ugly 2 Electric Boogaloo with Taylor Swift, because that movie was about a
do that.
songwriter.
She wouldn't do that because the women in Coyote Ugly were hot.
That's stupid. Make it anyways.
She would think it's sexist.
Well, she should do it. They should just
But
make
they
it.
haven't come out to see her cameos in movies, and I thought that she should have had a
Yeah.
Barbie cameo. Like that was a huge opportunity that they missed.
People in the chat are like, I remember that was a bad movie. Yes, the movie Crossroads was a bad movie. I from what I remember.
But if she starred in a movie,
Britney Spears, yeah, she starred in a movie.
no, Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah,
if
she
she
starred-
starred in a movie, you think that it would do as well as Barbie? Because of her fan
yeah,
base?
I do. I honestly do. Like if it was marketed the right way, soundtrack is nothing but Taylor Swift songs. Like it's just Taylor Swift music. And it's about
Or Taylor Swift adjacent.
It's a woman named Sailor Twift, and it's it's about a young up and coming country star fighting back against the patriarchy that is keeping women down in
No,
the
it needs to
music
be
industry.
something that's less realistic. Like, I don't know, she's a lounge singer.
Oh yes, Crossroads had Taryn Manning, the girl from last week, the Orange Is the New Black lady.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was great. It's fantastic. You should watch it. You'd love it.
I'll consider it. According to an insider, Taylor Swift was upset that fans swarmed her friend Jack Antonoff's wedding.
Yeah, and she, like you said, she's not.
I mean, doesn't
going to
she
push
owe
back.
it to her friend to push back? Doesn't she owe it to her friend and her friend's
But her friend's a businessman.
fiance and her friend's family?
But her friend's a businessman who understands. So really, he's like, do I want to upset her fans and cost myself money? His
He
best
is
option.
costing himself money because he's her producer.
As I'm saying, his best option would have been to just not invite her. But even then people would say, why wasn't Taylor Swift invited to Jack Antonoff's wedding?
Also, a lot of Swifties are like making TikToks condemning this behavior when I believe wholeheartedly that if they were there and had the opportunity to be there, they would have been part of the crowd.
Somebody says Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Swift.
Tokyo Swift.
Yes, we have to know all of the. Giorgio says the only Crossroads I know is the song from Cream. Well, what about the Bone Thugs and Harmony song? That's the real Crossroads. Yeah, she was. Like I said, she was in Amsterdam and nobody saw it but us.
I don't think a lot of people knew that she was in it.
Yeah, and she was
but
only in it for a little bit. Though she had a
She
very
had
important
a
role.
cameo in the Hannah Montana movie.
And Cats.
And Cats,
And Cats.
unfortunately.
Nobody
that was
saw that though.
disturbing.
Yep.
She's also getting heat right now because
Thank you guys.
one of her concerts in Italy had limited wheelchair access. Like
Taylor
now you're
Swift-
just grasping for straws.
Taylor Swift is ableist.
Is Taylor Swift ableist now?
Taylor Swift is super
Able
ableist.
Swift?
Able Swift. I'm so
I don't
down.
know. I think Italy is ableist because they don't have elevators.
There you go.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.